Hello, dear students. In this video, we are going to discuss about these four topics: loopings, control statements, components of a loop, introduction to for loop, sample program based on a for loop. So, these are the four topics that we will cover with the help of this video. And before starting the topic, I just want to tell one thing. This looping part is very important for examination point of view. Whatever the topic you will study in future, all are dependent on loops. So you can say that loop is the backbone of the programming concepts. So it is very important. That's why I'm telling you in the first itself. So be careful, learn properly, do practice. If you will not do proper practice, you will not understand the concept properly. So let's start the first topic, looping control statement. So the control statements that execute the part of a Java program repeatedly on the basis of a condition called a looping controller statement. Repeatedly mean, for example, in Java, suppose we want to print our name 5 times, or I want to print my name 50 times. Then how you will print without looping? You can write 50 time SOP statement, system.out.println my name is a, then you can write your name over there. So if we are going to print our name 50 times, so we need to write a 50 SOP statement. As you already know that 50 lines of code is very big. So the effective concept to do the such simple task is we can go for a loop. A 3 line of code will print my name 50 time, 100 time, 500 time or a 1000 time. So obviously loop will reduce the code complexity also. So my program length will be small. So the main purpose of loop is if we want to execute some statements again and again more than once. It can be 5 times, it can be 10 times, it can be 100 times or it can be 500 times. That depends upon the programmer requirement. So if we want to execute the statements again and again, we will go for a loop concept. So let's see what is a loop. A part of a program that execute again and again on the basis of a condition is called a loop. A loop continuously executes until the condition specified return false. In loop there will be a condition. So if that condition will be true, loop will execute. If it will be false, loop will stop. So the whole execution of the loop will be controlled with the help of that specified condition. So this is all about the overview about a loop. Let's see why we need loop in programming. As I already told that if we want to execute a line more than once, then we will go for a loop. So whenever there is a demand to execute the same set of statements again and again, then for such scenarios we need a loop. So loop helps effectively by providing fast execution and less code complexity in programming. So that are the advantages of using loops in programming. So the main reason behind using loop in programming concept is if we want to execute a program code again and again, then we will go for a loop. Next is part of a loop. A loop is made up of 4 different parts. First one is loop controller variable. This variable is also a normal variable. We will declare with the required data type as we were doing earlier for the variable declaration. Nothing special we will do for this loop control variable. So what is the loop control variable? A variable that is used to configure a loop and also control its functionality is called a loop controller variable. At the beginning, this variable holds the starting value for a loop. So this line means for a loop there will be a starting point, there will be a ending point. So the loop variable value must be initialized first from the starting value, from where I want to start my loop. Just for example, I want to print a number from 10 to 20. So what will be the starting point over here? 10. What will be the ending point over there? 20. So my loop will start from 10 to 20. So I will initialize my loop variable here I equal to 10. Next part is test condition. A Boolean expression that tells whether a loop body will execute or not is called a test condition. Loop will execute only when test condition return true. When test condition will give false, loop will terminate. So it means a loop will be controlled with the help of a test condition, and test condition always be a Boolean expression. Boolean expression means it will give only two response, either true or either false. So it means if my test condition is true, my loop will execute. If my test condition will be false, my loop will terminate. It will not further execute. So this is the use of test condition as a part of a loop. Third is loop body. Very important part it is. The block that execute again and again is called loop body. Here we will write the statements that we want to execute more than once. It executes only when test condition is true. As I already told in the beginning that if I want to print my name 50 times, so that line for printing the name I will write within the loop body. So loop body only contains the statements that we want to execute again and again. Fourth part is updating expression. This expression is used to change the value of loop control variable by increment or a decrement. So here it is also very important part. If we will do any mistake over here, either my loop will become infinite or it will give a false output. So in updation expression, mostly we are changing the value of loop controller variable. So we are writing I plus plus, I minus minus, sometime we are writing I is equal to I by 10. There will be different ways of decrementing or incrementing the value of loop controller variable. Now let's start with the for loop. Very important topic now we are going to start. So the for loop in Java is used to iterate and execute the block of code multiple times when the number of iterations is known by the user. It is recommended to use the for loop. So every loop actually used to execute the statements more than once. So the number of iteration will be fixed. So according to the programming standard, which loop will be recommended? For loop. It is not like that here you cannot use while loop or do while loop. You can use any of the loop, but the recommended is a for loop only. Now syntax and flow chart of for loop. So syntax first, initialization. In initialization, we will initialize the loop controller variable. Loop control variable means we will set the starting point for a loop, from where my loop will start. Second is condition, and just look at here to in the syntax part, initialization separated by a semicolon, then what will come? A condition. Condition, as I already told, test condition always be in a boolean form. So this condition will either give true or either will give a false. Now test condition again separated with the help of semicolon over here. So last one is increment and a decrement. Now here this set of brackets, set of curly brackets representing the body of the for loop. So here in this what we will write? Statement to be executed repeatedly. That statement we will write. So here I just want to tell you one thing, that my loop will start from here. So for example, I will set a loop control variable I is equal to 5, assume. Then here condition will be checked. Now for example, I just want to print all the number from 5 to 10. So here condition will be checked, I less than equal to 10. I less than equal to 10. So then we will write the condition I less than equal to 10. So it will check whether this condition is true. As I already told, I will be 5. So 5 less than equal to 10, condition true. So in the statement of in the body part of the for loop, I will write system.out.println I. So what will be printed in this case? 5. Here in the flow chart, if you will see, first initialization will be there, then test condition. So just look at here this part. If this condition will be true, so if this condition will be true, code inside the loop, it means this code will be executing. After executing this code, it will go in a increment and decrement part. It will update the loop control variable, and from here again it will come back to the condition part. Again it will check the condition. If condition is true, again it will go inside the body. If condition is false, you can see in the flow chart directly it will come out if condition will be false. So here also if this condition will be false, it will come out of the loop. This is the control flow of this for loop. Now here in this control flow, you can see this part, initialization part, will execute only once throughout the whole execution of for loop. Once the loop will start, control will never come back to this point. Very important concept it is. So this is overall structure of for loop. Now just look at the one example. Write a program in Java to print number from 1 to 5. So as I told in the question itself, we want to print the number from 1 to 5. It means what will be the starting point for my loop? 1. So look at over here, I have started loop control variable from 1, and up to where it will go? It can go only up to 5. So I have written the condition I less than equal to 5. Then this represents I plus plus. Now How you will know that you want to write here I plus plus or I minus minus? If the starting point will be less as compared to the ending point, then obviously we will write a increment. If the starting point will be greater than the ending point, then we will write a decrement. So when my loop will start, I is equal to 1 I have written. So after initialization, test condition will be checked. So what will be checked? I value will be 1, 1 less than equal to 5, condition true. So if it is true, it will go inside the loop body. In the loop body I am printing I value is right now 1, so what will be printed? 1 will be printed on the screen. After printing I, again it will come back to I plus plus. Now I will become now 2. Now again condition will be checked, 2 less than equal to 5, true. If it is true, again I will be printed, I value will be 2, 2 will be the output. Next time again it will come back to I, now I will become 3, 3 less than equal to 5, again it is true, again I will be printed. Next time I will be 4, 4 less than equal to 5, true, 4 will be printed. Next time I value will be 5, now 5 less than equal to 5, true, 5 will be printed. Next time I will become a 6, now 6 less than equal to 5, false. So as this condition will give false, loop will terminate, it will come out of this bracket, it will come out of this bracket. So before termination, what we will get on the console? 1 2 3 4 5. So that was the expected output from this program snippet. I hope you will understand this first example. Why I am taking such type of example? Because if you will understand the basic control flow of loop, then you will do the programming, then you will do the complex example according to your syllabus point of view. Next, example number 2 is, write a program in Java to accept a number and print its table. So I want to accept a number, for example, I will take number as 5. I want to print the table of 5. And you already know that for table we are going for 1 to 10. So what will be the starting point for loop? 1. What will be the ending point? Less than equal to 10. Now if you will see this program, in this program it is not mentioned the starting point and the ending point. Now we have to think that if we are going to print a table, we are printing the table from 1 to 10. So obviously we will write the starting point 1 and ending point less than equal to 10. Now I plus plus. So I want to print the table of 5. So this loop will start from 1. So first condition will be checked, 1 less than equal to 10, true. If this condition is true, it will come inside the loop body. Inside the loop body what I am printing? N into I. N value is 5. So 5 into 1, 5. Next time again it will come back to the updation section. In updation section I will become now 2. 2 less than equal to 10, true. Now again it will come inside the loop body. Now 5 into 2. Now look at here, n will remains same. What will change? Only I value. So 5 into 2, 10. Next time I will be 3. 3 less than equal to 10, true. 5 into 3, 15. 4, then I will become 4. 4 less than equal to 10, true. 5 into 4, 20. Then I will be 5. 5 into 5, 25. I will be 6. 5 into 6, 30. I will be 7. 5 into 7, 35. I will be 8. 5 into 8, 40. I will be 9. 5 into 9 45, I will be 10, 5 into 10 50. Next time when I will be 11, 11 less than equal to 10, condition false, loop will terminate. So before termination, this table of 5 will be printed on the console as a output. Now example 3, here write a program in Java to print all even number from 1 to 6. So there is a range already specified in the question 1 to 6. So 1 to 6, there are some even number, there are odd number, but we want to print only the even number. So again in the same way we will write this loop. Starting point will be 1, ending point will be I less than equal to 6, and in the same way I will write a I plus plus. Now how we will check for even? This is the condition to check for even. If I mod 2 equal to 0. So at the beginning I value will be 1. Condition will be checked in the loop test condition. 1 less than equal to 6, condition true. Now again we have one more condition here. If 1 mod 2 equal to 0, false. If it is false, I will not be printed. Next time I will be 2. Now 2 less than equal to 6, true. Now 2 mod 2 equal to 0, true. So what will be printed now? 2 will be printed on the console. Next time I will be 3. 3 mod 2 equal to 0, false. So nothing will be printed. Next time I will be 4. 4 mod 2 equal to 0, true. 4 will be printed. Next time I will be 5. 5 less than equal to 6, true. And 5 mod 2 equal to 0, false. Next time I will be 6. 6 mod 2 equal to 0, true. So 6 will be printed. I will be 7. Now 7 less than equal to 6, condition false, loop will terminate. So before termination we will get all the even number from 1 to 6. So these are the 3 even number 2, 4 and 6 from the range 1 to 6. I hope you will understand this example number 3 also. Now we will go for one more example. Write a program in Java to accept a number and print its factors. So I hope all of you know about the factors. So factors are the numbers that divides that number itself. So for example, I will consider 6. So my number is 6. So factors means from 1 to 6, whatever the values that divides 6 completely are called factors of 6. So as you know already that if number is 6, 1 divides 6, okay, yes, 1 is the factor, obviously 1 is factor of all the numbers. Second value is 2, 2 divides 6, yes, 2 is also a factor of 6. Then 3, 3 divides 6, yes, 3 is also a factor of 6. 4 divides 6, no, 4 is not a factor of 6. Then 5 divides 6, no, 5 is also not a factor of 6. So this is the overall view. Now let's start this program. In that case, here my loop starts from 1 and it will go up to number itself, and number I have taken 6 for this dry run. So how we will check the condition now? Here this is the divisibility condition. If number mod I equal to 0, most of the student here writing I mod n. But what is the correct condition? N mod I. Number remains same. I will change from 1 to number itself. So at the beginning I will be 1, number will be 6, 6 mod 1 equal to 0, condition true. What will be printed on the console? 1 will be printed. Next time I will be 2. Now 2 less than equal to 6, condition true. Now second condition is 6 mod 2 equal to 0, condition true. So what will be printed? 2. Next time I will be 3. Now 3 less than equal to 6, true. So 6 mod 3 equal to 0, true. 3 will be printed. Now next time I will be 4, 4 less than equal to 6, true. First condition is true. In second condition 6 mod 4 equal to 0, false. So 4 will not be printed. Next time I will be 5, 5 less than equal to 6, condition true. So 6 mod 5 equal to 0, false. 5 is also not a factor of a 6. Next time I will be 6. Now 6 less than equal to 6, true. Now 6 mod 6 equal to 0, true. So 6 will also be printed on the console. Now next time I will be 7. Now in the loop test condition 7 less than equal to 6, false. So loop will terminate. So before termination what we will get as output? 1, 2, 3 and 6. So all these 4 are the factors of 6. So this is the program to calculate, to print the factors of a number. Now for example, I just want to print the counts of factors. I just want to count how many factors are there for a input number. So in that case, what will be the changes in this program? This SOP statement will be replaced with the count variable. So and here, as we already know that count will be a one value, so that will be written outside the loop body. So here we will write SOPLN of C. What will be printed on the console? Count of if factors count will be printed on the console. So here C must be initialized. In that case, count variable must be initialized with the 0. So this is all about this program. And just one overall point is, if we want to print a statement more than once, that statement only will come within the loop body. But if we want to print some statements only once, then it will be outside the loop body. As I already told now, that if you want to print the factors, the statement for printing the factors will come within the loop body, because there will be more than one factors for a number. But if we want to print only the counts of a factor, so the statement for printing the counts will come outside the loop body. That you will understand according to the program requirement. So these are some programs that you can do with the help of for loop. So in this video we have covered about the for loop. You can try your lab manual program also related to for loop. If you are facing any difficulty in any of the program, please let us know. We will guide you what will be the code or how you will write for that particular program. But first try to do it yourself. So thank you. I hope you will understand this very important concept of looping in the programming. So any doubt you can ask in the WhatsApp group. Thank you.